If everyone wants to live a better life, but no one is willing to change, my question to you is, can we grow without changing? Is that even possible? It's like on one hand, we have people who preach. They're like, no, don't ever change. Always stay the same, no matter what situation you're in, no matter the environment you're in, always stay the same, never change. And then on the other hand, we have people who are like, oh, you're supposed to change. You're supposed to be a butterfly, and everything that you learn, you're supposed to take that and grow and change, because everything is changing and everything is growing at the same time. So it's like, who do you go with? Who do you resonate with? Who do you choose? Who is right? Now, I think that, and this might confuse you. This might confuse you because I think they're both right. And why I say this is because on one hand, you have certain things about you, like your values, the things that make you you, for the most part. Those shouldn't change. Your morals shouldn't change, where it's like, you're a good person, so you shouldn't stop changing from being a good person to being an evil person who is like plotting against someone who did them wrong. Just forget that person and move on with your life. So in that aspect, it's like, if you are a good person to begin with, there's no reason for you to change that. But everything changes. Nothing stays the same. Like, me 2 seconds ago was not me 2 seconds from now. And me now is completely different. It's mind-blowing because nothing stays the same. Everything is changing. So you kind of have to embrace the change in that, because it's like, when you stop yourself from embracing change, it's like you're stunting your growth big time. Big time. Because it's like, you want to excel in life and you want to live the best life that you can possibly live. But in order to do that, there are certain things and certain habits and a lot of things that you're probably doing now that your future self will never do. Like, as an example, when I was younger, right, I used to run around all day and, play in the yard and do my homework and everything, just be a regular child. Now, me now as an adult, I don't really have homework unless I kind of assign myself that, or some project I'm working on requires my time, but I don't have homework to hand in to somebody at a school anymore until I decide to change that. But at the same time, it's like, there are certain things that I would have to learn as a child that comes automatic to me now as an adult. And that's because, one, even if I was unwilling to learn and unwilling to change, I had to learn those things in order to be who I am now. So it's like, can we grow without changing? Yes and no. Because if you look at your future and what you see in your future is not who you are now, then guess what? You're gonna have to change, and then sometimes you're gonna have to change a whole lot. So it doesn't matter if you're like, oh, I love this person right now, they're gonna always stay with me and everything, and then you're just like, tomorrow you're not the same person. 10 minutes from now, you are not the same person. So I think both concepts are correct. You have to change because it's natural, and hold on to certain things where it's like, it's your morals, it's your values, your knowledge is always changing. We're always learning something new, and if you're not learning something new, go read a book, please. And it's like, everything else keeps changing, but morals and values, and your values can change as well, because something that you valued 10 years ago, you probably can't find it today. Like, how many things where you're like, oh my God, I love this so much, I'll never, ever, ever let this go. And you're just like, today you're like, why did I ever think that this would pass a couple of months or couple of days? Forever? That's a very long time. Long time. People fear change because they fear the unknown. But the thing is, the unknown is kind of the best part. That's where you get to create what you want. In life, it's like you've already been in the past, right? And anytime you think of the past, you are reflecting on it. Now you're moving forward, and every step that you take, you're going forward. But because you don't know what's going to happen, that scares you. And I'm like, I get it, but you're a lot stronger than you think that you are. And it's like most situations, like, look, you're still alive, right? Most situations that you have feared in the past, where you're just like quivering in your boots, where you're like, oh my God, how am I going to get out of this situation? I don't know what to do. I've never been in this situation before. But you figured it out, you got out of it, and you're standing here or you're sitting there and watching this video, right? You are capable of doing anything that you want. You just need to believe in yourself a lot more, honestly. But the thing about change is that, yes, it's constant. Yes, it's happening all the time. But people don't like to change because they get in their routines, and their routines is one way, and they think that they love it, and then something happens that throws them off that routine, and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe that this is happening and everything. But it's like, when you come to the end of something, it doesn't matter what it is. It's a relationship, if it's a book, if it's just the work, anything, or school, anything. When you come to the end of something, it means that you already learned your lessons that you were supposed to learn from that. So now you have to move on to learning new things. So that change is gonna happen, where the thing that you got so accustomed to and your routine, and you created your whole life about that and everything, that is now ended because you bled everything, you squeezed and you took it and wring everything out of it, where you're just like, I learned everything that I could possibly learn from this. And life is like, okay, now we move on to the next step. And then that thing starts breaking down and you start freaking out. Like, think about it. If you have a job and this job is just terrible, and you're like, every day someone's picking on you and someone's not doing something right, and it just becomes annoying and more annoying and more annoying. And what makes it worse, you keep getting a headache every time you have to go into a job. It's just, once you realize that you have to work that day, you out of nowhere, you just get sick, right? After a while, things start happening where it's like, you may be fired, or you're getting other offers from somewhere where it's like, hey, come over here. Come. We want you over here. And you're like, wait, but I've gotten so used to this that I don't kind of want to leave this. And it's just like, but that thing is done. It's done. This is why this is changing. Whatever you needed to learn from doing that, you already learned it. So that's why it's ending. So now it's time to actually move forward and go towards something else. And that's the scary part for a lot of people, where it's like, it is scary. I'm not gonna lie, it is scary, because when you get in the routine, when we all get in the routine of doing something and we're like, yes, we are so sure of ourselves that we can close our eyes and do it in the dark and everything. When you get to that point with something, it's literally time to upgrade. And that's what change represents. Change, sometimes we may not think of it as it being an upgrade, but every single time we are in the future and looking back at what it was that we changed, we realize that if that horrible thing didn't happen, we wouldn't be where we actually wanted to be. And then if you're in a situation now where you don't like where you are, something's gonna happen that's gonna change that situation to actually put you where you want to be. So that's kind of the magic of change. It really is. It's a magical thing where it's just like, hey, I don't like this, or hey, I already learned enough of this, and the universe is like, okay, now we move on. I grew up with this saying that goes, never leave shore for onshore. And I've seen that play out in so many different people's lives where they would be scared to leave something that is basically horrible to them because they know how to deal with that thing, instead of actually broadening their horizons and actually following their instincts and getting out of that situation. And one example of that is like not leaving shore for onshore is like the people who hate their jobs. That's the most common thing that a lot of people can relate to, and I've had multiple that I hated, so I keep coming back to that example. But the people who hate their jobs, they will hold on to that job for years and years and years, and before they know it, they already did 20 years in that job, simply because they're like, oh, it's sure, it's their security. They're like, hey, once I have this, I know that I'm secured. But it's like, but mentally you're not secured. Mentally you're not happy. You know you're not happy, and every single time you leave this place you feel very light, and when you come back you're just so down and heavy and everything. And it's just like, when are you gonna learn to listen to your body? Really? So I feel like I've seen that one saying play out in everyday life, where it's just like a lot of people will stay in their situation because, one, they know how to deal with it. Two, they're scared of the unknown. Three, they don't trust themselves enough, like at all. And four, they don't believe that whatever it is that they're going towards, it's better than what they're in right now. And please, if you're in a situation where you hate and you don't like it, it's not gonna change until you change. Just understand that it's never going to change until you change. So you fearing things that are changing and you not going along with the change and trying to stop things from changing and everything, you're only delaying your progress with actually growing and becoming the person you actually want to be. Don't let all of these negative emotions and negative thoughts actually keep you back from living the life that you want. You, again, control your life. And when it comes to change, everything's going to change. Do you think that you're going to wake up tomorrow and start living the life of your dreams and everything won't change? It's like you won't live the same life as you are living now. You won't wake up like you did yesterday and expect the life that you want in the future. Things change to get you there. So embrace that change. It's there to make you better.